Hello everyone. In today's video, let's have a quick look at the previous tweet from DENT Wireless regarding a Starlink SpaceX partnership. The tweet doesn't give much information, but all I'm trying to make out is connect the dots and just understand what's going on. So if you look at the recent tweet, there's some few information coming out. The first one I would probably want to highlight here is about Brett Tornazzer. He's the new director of SpaceX. So he joined SpaceX from January 2021. So you can see his profile. So he's joined. He's based in UK. So he has a very high profile on the telecom space. So he used to be a head of GSMA spectrum for around 6 years. So he has a very intense knowledge on the regulatory and advocatory sides of how to spread the spectrum wavelengths for the mobile connections. So he is coming from a very rich wireless telecommunication background, and he recently joined SpaceX from Jan 2021. So let's keep that in mind, and then let's have a look at a few other news about what's been happening. So you can see this is another chief of head joins to SpaceX, the executive in charge of the GSMA's spectrum related regulatory activities. Brett Tornazzer has left the organization to join SpaceX. So that's a very big news. The reason I am speculating is SpaceX or Starlink, they are trying to get into the telecom space. So now Elon Musk's next toy is telecommunications, because it makes sense in a way, because they have their own satellite launch vehicles, SpaceX, which is their another subsidiary company. So SpaceX launches satellites, and now they can spin up another telecom company, Starlink, and use the satellites for their worldwide telecommunication, internet service and mobile service. So in fact, they have applied for telecom license to become a telecommunication operator in US and in UK, and they already got the license in UK actually. So if you look at this article, so Elon Musk's satellite company SpaceX has recruited the GSMA's head of spectrum, Brett Tornazzer, as a director. He will be moving from London, where the industry organization is based, to Washington. And here you can see Starlink now has a license from UK regulator to provide satellite internet services. So basically, UK, they have got license in UK. Starlink has already got license in UK. So they just need another partner to roll out their products in UK basically. So if you connect the dots, you can now make out what information you can make out. So let's have a look. What are the chances for Starlink SpaceX partnership? What are the likely chances, and what kind of partnership it could be, and is it possible at all, or it's just a rumor and a speculation? Let's just give an unbiased view about it. So in my opinion, I think if Starlink and DENT Wireless will cooperate, it is probably with respect to voice service. The reason I'm saying is Starlink plans to provide voice over IP service and says it's exploring its options to do so, possibly through a managed service provider, voice platform capability that would use Starlink's network capacity and be integrated with customer CPE, to which customers could connect to a landline phone. The MSP strategy is the company's baseline plan for a voice offering, although it says it could also consider developing a proprietary solution. So until Starlink has built and set up its own voice service, why not cooperate with another provider who already in the market, which is DENT for the time being. And DENT allows voice over IP from mobile to landlines. I'm not sure whether you have downloaded the app and used the Dent international calling minutes. So they already have a VoIP telephony service, pretty much like Skype or WhatsApp or any other other service providers. So, and the Starlink users only need the internet access and a mobile device. The internet is already delivered by Starlink. This way, Starlink buys time and can roll out their voice services later, and until they develop their own proprietary voice service, they could leverage a third-party provider through potential partnerships. And I also think that DW's voice uses less data than WhatsApp, and that makes it a very lucrative case for Starlink to potentially have a partnership with Dent Wireless. And the data from Starlink is relatively costly, so they need to partner with someone who provides a voice over IP service, which is less data intensive, which consumes basically less data during its voice service. So that there is a potential chances, and if at all there is a partnership, I reckon it could be around the voice over IP service. And if they are happy with that service, they could potentially expand with other offerings, and we don't know what could be the potential agreement could be, because they might be at this phase doing some contractual clauses between themselves to make sure their hardware device could be integrated, and some kind of eSIM service as well. We don't know what's in the making, and this is just I'm just trying to make a connect the dots and see how this could very likely be, because otherwise there's no point in tweeting about Starlink's service and potentially making a big fuss about it, you know what I mean? And historically we know Dent Wireless don't leak out things pretty easily until the things are finalized. So from my opinion, I think there is something coming around. But apart from that, keeping that aside, there are other features coming out as well. As you can see, I highlighted in my previous video, there's a new version of Dent mobile app is in the making, and which is Dent 4.0. I already put up a video about Dent 4.0 product release, and then they are upgrading their Dent exchange to the next version to allow trading of eSIM data plans. So that is also, these two are in the release schedule in next couple of weeks or months, we don't know when. And then you have the developer portal coming out as well, that is targeted for B2B businesses. And then we know Dent Teams beta is already available. If you go to teams.dentwireless.com, you will be able to access and log in and share your mobile data with your friends and community. So it's already there. But the good thing with the next release of eSIM mobile app is they're going to integrate these two together, so the users don't have to go to a web portal in order to share the mobile data. Instead doing that, they could do all in one directly from the mobile app. That is another big potential chance coming out in the next app. And then you have Dent Gigastore coming up as well, which is targeted toward B2C. So let's keep an eye on the next couple of weeks and see how the partnership chances are likely to happen. And let's have a look, because from my opinion, I see the voice over service as a potential area where SpaceX slash Starlink could leverage what Dent has already got. But we don't know how the national potential partnership could be. But let's keep an eye and see how it turns out. And in terms of market price, it's pretty much stable around 1388. So it's just going sideways, which is quite a good thing. Rather than a drastic dip, it's trying to go sideways, which is when consolidation actually happens. So which is a good thing from my opinion, but some might see as a dip. But the volume keeps relatively stable. You can see around 107 million, and this is the huge amount of Dent. People complaining about 100 billion Dent. You can see it's 68 billions of Dents traded just in one day. So that's a huge number, because potentially lots of people are coming to know about Dent in the recent days. So we don't know how it's going to turn out in the next next week or a couple of weeks, but the trend looks pretty good. As long as Bitcoin keeps up its upward trend, we can most likely to say this price going sideways and then having some spikes on the way for the next 2 to 3 weeks. And the market is actually in the bull run, and we are in the middle of February. So before the complete bull run stops, they're saying Bitcoin could touch 62k. So if that is the case, we have a good window over there, because right now the price of Bitcoin is hovering around 47k. So if you consider that another 15 grand rise, that would probably take a couple of weeks. So that should be giving you enough time, ample amount of time for Dent to spike up another couple of times at least. So considering that, let's make a quick prediction of where this could take us in the next couple of weeks. So let's change it to 1380 and work out the maths there. So I would probably reckon this could go up to 1 cent, very likely. But it depends on what kind of news and partnerships are going to come out, which I don't have any of the information about that. This is just pure speculation and trying to make out the news out there and trying to connect the dots and what potentially the partnership could be. That's what this video is all about. So if they have to break over, there will be a tough resistance around the 0.003 mark. So once they come over this resistance, I guess it's going to go up to 1 cent. That's where it's going to be getting really interesting, because that will be taking Dent to top 50 in the coin market cap. So that's pretty interesting. So but if you look as we stand now, the market, the Dent ranking is roughly around 169, which is quite not bad. The reason I am saying it's not bad is in the sense, a week ago it was at 356th rank, and right now it's around 169 rank, and the market cap was 28 million, and right now the market cap is around 125 million. So potentially they have exploded by another 5 times from where it was a week ago. So that shows a potential upward trend building up for Dent. And compared to the previous bull run, this run is going to be completely different, because in the previous bull run there are lots of differences. The first thing is the supply was just 10 billion, and this bull run the supply of Dent is literally 9 times more than that, which is 90 billion as we speak at the moment. So you can see the supply of Dent is 90 billion, but the supply is not the big problem here, but the trust of the community is what the problem. At the moment, they have a solid product, as I showed, and they have a huge list of products coming up in the next couple of weeks as well, couple of weeks or next couple of months, we don't know, but it's something coming up. That's what I feel. And if that is true, then we are going to expect a lot of upward trend keeping up along with Bitcoin, BTC bull run. So let's look at what's happening in Kucoin as well. So Kucoin is another place where Dent is very popularly traded. So if you look at a 5-minute chart, you can see it's going sideways actually, and then there are roughly around 689 Ethereum being traded in the last 24 hours. So that's a positive trend, because I want to see real volume, and that makes sure the price keeps sideways and doesn't slips off too much. And in terms of price, I would say if you're putting 100 bucks and you see growing to 250 bucks, just an example, make sure you take your capital out even before you think of your profits. That way you can rest and have a good peaceful sleep. Even if the price has to go to zero, you at least have a capital protection there. So whatever your 100 bucks is safe now. And then let the open markets decide in terms of what the price could be. We don't know what the price could be potentially. It's just no one can predict the price, honestly. So all we could do is make some guess estimates and see how likely it could be, and how we could have a proper exit strategy at appropriate times. That gives us protection in terms of your money. So this is not a financial advice, but just saying mathematically how we could play the game pretty safe. So if I have to put $100 and if it goes to $250, I would probably take the capital out first, and then if it has to go 3x, 3 times or 4 times at this price point, I would probably take another $100 out, and that way you can leave the rest of the coins in your cold wallet and let it raise and let them open market to discover the new price for Dent. Because historically speaking, in the past 3 years, Dent has been really smashed hard. Its price has dropped all the way from 1 cent to 0.0001, which is from my opinion 20 times down, and that much hard it has been affected in the past 3 years of bear market. So right now we are coming out of the bear market. It's just warming up compared to most of the other coins like Tron or any other coin. If you look at Tron, they are already how much 2,565% higher than its ICO price 3 years ago. So you can make it out for yourself. That is quite huge run up, and you can see the circulating supply is 71 billion, which is pretty much like what people who are complaining about the supply of Dent. Please have a look at Tron. They don't have a consumer facing any product, but whereas Dent is completely different. People can download the app and they can buy mobile data as we speak in 80 different countries, and they are themselves a mobile virtual network operator as well. So people can easily get a understanding of how the app works and can perceive the value of the token from there on. So that is a very key potential for a network effect for Dent compared with most other tokens out there in the market. So if you look at Tron, it's just around 5 cents, but the market users, participants, they cannot feel it because it's only for crypto people. Non-crypto people cannot understand what it is, but whereas with Dent, that bridges the gap a lot, because now a non-app user, non-crypto user can download the app and play around and then have a feeling of how the token works and then decide for themselves. And the token is just an intermediary between a medium of exchange for mobile data and the Dent Wireless. So that's connects the real world with their mobile platform. So and they have quite a lot of product suites built around it, not just it's just a blockchain project. So and this is one of the, so let's have a look at how many cryptocurrencies are there out there in the market. There are roughly 8,436 cryptocurrencies are there, and out of the 8,436 cryptocurrencies, just do your analysis to find out how many competitors are there for Dent. Who are the other mobile network operators in the current market space who are linked with blockchain and they have their own tokens? It's none of them. Some of them claim that Telcoin is another competitor, but Telcoin is for remittances. They don't have anything to do with mobile network or mobile data or eSIM, and they are not even a telecom operator. So Telcoin is out of the picture when it compares to analyzing your competitors. But Dent doesn't have, so that makes a very unique use case for Dent. The reason I'm saying is it could potentially be considered as a very niche market space, because out of 8,436 coins, you have only one potential cryptocurrency targeting the telecommunication sector, which is worth trillions of dollars. Imagine Elon Musk start spinning up a telecom company. It's not a joke. He knows where the money goes. So he knows just the top 5 telecom companies, they make roughly around 1 trillion annually. And just the unused mobile data, of the users in the world is worth 35 billion US dollars. So imagine how big the telecom market is. So that's why Starlink, which is a spin-off of Elon Musk's companies, is targeting telecommunication sector now, and they have got license in US and UK to operate as a telecom operator, and they have their own satellite company to launch the satellites to provide coverage for most of the 99% of the unreachable areas in the world. So that is the SpaceX and Starlink gives a very powerful booster for them, so they don't have to rely on another third party satellite launcher to launch their satellite for providing satellite communication. So they themselves have their own SpaceX, and they can launch satellites whenever they want at their own spin-off. So that gives a very powerful hands. That's the reason Starlink, Elon Musk's company, is interested in the telecommunication sector. And pretty much Dent is already in the space for 3 years right now as we speak, and they have a proper working mobile app, and target have 26 million registered app users as well. And if you can go into Play Store as we speak and type Dent eSIM, you can see there's already been 5 million downloads in the Play Store. And now the next version of iPhone is going to have quite a lot of features, which is going to make the app user base grow very easily from where we stand now. So that gives a very good perspective of what the market space for Dent could be. And if at all, I'm putting a big if at all the Starlink SpaceX partnership is true, and Dent Wireless, even doesn't have to be a partnership, even if they agree for providing some type of prototype for their hardware integration with eSIM service or their voice service, as I mentioned here, some sort of like here voice service, voice over IP service. So some sort of alignment with Starlink, with Dent Wireless is a really a huge potential news in the market. The reason I am saying is the past 3 years Dent Wireless wasn't able to get a good partnership with the conventional telecom companies. The reason is fair, is anyone can understand it very easily. The traditional telecom companies, they don't want to have another competitor who can take a big chunk of the market pie of their profits. They allow to operate in silo, so that they can take a huge profit and just have it for themselves. So if you look at AT&T, Verizon, SoftBank, Reliance in India, all are multi-billion giant corporations betting on their mobile data. And on top of that, of course, they provide a lot of other services as well, because you need to have multiple revenue channels so that you are not dependent on the retail market for selling the mobile data alone. That doesn't work. That's why you can see Dent is copying pretty much what the traditional telecom companies would do normally. So instead of coming up with innovations, they are just taking up the plan and the strategy of the conventional telcos by launching different B2B services and B2C services, and then retail as well, and then trading desk also they are planning to launch. So that seems quite promising to me, from my opinion. So we might have to wait and see how their partnership could potentially turn out, and how things could turn very quickly, very positive. So in the next couple of weeks, I think the price is going to go sideways for now, as I could see from the chart just showed you. It is pretty much taking sideways at the moment as we speak. So yesterday was the huge volume after probably a couple of years of time. Dent had the massive volume of 150 million, which is quite huge in my opinion, and compared to most other tokens out there in the market, this is pretty huge news. And the reason, the most of the YouTubers, if you look, they are predicting and pushing other tokens in the top 100. What I would say is keep away from the top 100 tokens. They might go up again, but they all are in the peak of the market already. So if you look at Tron, I showed you, which is already 3,000%, close to 3,000% above the ICO price. And look at Polkadot or Cardano, all are quite very high at this point of time. Even if you go and have a look at Cardano for a second, you can make it out for yourself how much it's quite high compared to its ICO price. So it's around 4,122% higher than its ICO price. Come on guys, if you're going to enter into this kind of coins, your return on investment is going to be really less. It can probably 2x, that's the maximum it could go. But whereas with Dent, they have a working product, and at the same time it's in sub pennies. At the moment the price of a Dent token is 1/10 of a penny. So 1 penny itself is 1/100th of a dollar, and then if it's 1/10 of a penny, means imagine $1 gives you roughly 10,000 Dent tokens. this is insanely priced low. That's what I'm trying to make. Let's do a quick converter and see how much Dent could do, because what I'm thinking is just insanely priced low, 1/10 of a penny. That means you can see $1 of worth of Dent, you get 724 tokens. So if I put $1, for $1 you get like 724 tokens, and even if you have to put 10 buck, you're getting 7,245 tokens. Whereas with the other tokens, you're not going to get that much return, I'm pretty sure, because there's no potential for huge upturn when it has already saturated at probably at 4,000% high, right? And look at the supply as well. It's pretty much like Dent token. So the circulating supply is roughly around 41 billion. So people are complaining about Dent, but have a look at the circulating supply of 31 billion. So you can make it out for yourself. They all have saturated. Most of the top 100 coins have already peaked and saturated. So I would strongly suggest to keep away from the top 100 and come into some of the best tokens which have a real use case and potential for and room for growth in the next few years, coming years as well. And let's have a look at how much Dent is higher compared to its ICO price. So compared to its ICO price right now is just 100%, which is 2x its ICO price, which is quite marginal compared to what 4,500% is, right? So that's what 4,500% means. That's 45x from its ICO price. Do you want to buy something which is 45 times its ICO price? And the ICO didn't happen like 20 years ago or so. The ICO happened just in 2017, right? So in 3 years, something going up by 45x, and now you still want to expecting it to go another 20x. No, it's not going to happen. Let's be realistic. That will not happen. Probably Dent has the upside for that potential, because it could easily flip to 2 cents and your returns will be 15x from there. But whereas Cardano or your Tron or your Polkadot or your crypto.com or your whatever coin you say in the top 100, then they are up well above for an average Jim and Joe to buy. So that is for the elite rich now. So if you are rich, I don't mind you putting your few bucks there, but most of the people out in the globe, 97% of the population of the world, just 3% of the population of the world, they own 80% of the wealth of the world. Imagine then that 3% are the one who is going to benefit from the top 100 coins, not the rest of the 97% of the population. So that's a huge bridge between rich and middle class people. So this token is probably targeted for an average Jim and Joe, because the app is targeted for common people. Not you don't have to be rich to use a mobile phone. You don't have to be ultra rich to have buy a mobile data. Mobile data is $5 per GB. So, and in some other countries even it could be 20 cents. But what I'm trying to make is it is commonly accessible, and most of the people will try to understand cryptocurrency through these kind of apps than with the top 100 tokens that are out there in the market. That's the point I'm trying to make out here. But anyway, it's not a financial advice, but these are the coins which have potential for growth in the future. Sorry, excuse me. So thanks for watching. Have a good day.